I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the second agenda is approval of minutes of January or February? February.
Do we need to move to amend the agenda?
You can, but we updated online.
Okay.
Before the meeting started.
Okay,
So I think
so
you
we're
should be
good, okay. I move that we approve the minutes of February 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving along. Item 3, TX 24.03.01. Pouch family requests a text amendment to be amended Article 8, Table of Uses, to allow nicotine delivery products production as a list use in industrial zoning.
Yeah. So thank you, Planning Board. Hello. So this is TX 240301. It's for the nicotine delivery product production. The applicant is here, and they requested the use of nicotine delivery products as a listed use, an L, in the Article Table 8.1 for list of uses. We currently don't have a nicotine production use in the use table. As you can see in the aerial provided in the agenda packet, everything in purple is industrial. We have two main industrial areas. We do have some industrial in Old Monroe, but primarily over here in Gribble and Matthews Indian Trail is industrial, and Union West Business Park is zone industrial. So that's where the uses would be allowed if passed. And the history on industrial, it was formed to provide for those industrial uses, those heavy or unique uses that would accumulate in industrial. And we would assume nicotine production would fall under that industrial category. And staff looked at the use. We don't have any of those uses in town as far as we're aware. We have a economic development plan that wants to promote different and unique different types of businesses in town. And so staff recommends approval of TX 240301 to help promote the Stallings economic plan. And council also additionally at the retreat last month made a priority to promote industrial, Union West Business Park, and that's an industrial zoning. Do you have any questions?
Said that the town is on board with making these additions. Is it okay with the nature of the business itself? As far as the pouch factory and all that, what they're requesting?
So I'm not familiar exactly of, let's say, nicotine production and what they're doing. So I'm going to let them talk about what they do and have them explain that a little bit more to you guys, so you guys can create consistency. But what I'm looking at is it's a unique new business, and I'm trying to bring more businesses into town. And I do think it fits industrial. Does that help answer your question? And would you?
I'll let them.
Okay. Any other questions? And if you want the applicant to speak, he's here as well.
Sure.
Oh, you want to speak? Okay.
For me,
I'd like to know, yeah.
for me.
And this is one of the biggest problems.
Sure. I understand, yeah.
So it's
You can't
yeah.
discriminate.
So
first off, thank you for having us here tonight, and it is kind of a unique homecoming for me because 20 years ago, I was the Board of Adjustment attorney, working in a little room over there, so it's very cool to be back. So I'm John Snyder. I am doing the government relations. I'm government affairs or lobbyist, as some people call me in different parts for different clients, and the Pouch Factory is one of them. The Pouch Factory is simply, I don't know if, it's a small pouch that's in medical gauze that has nicotine crystals in it. I, as a former resident of Stallings, I kind of know the matrix of, is this a good neighbor? Is this somebody we want to have in town? Is this something that we want that'll help the community? And I think the answer to all those questions is yes. One of the benefits beyond just having more tax base is this, as you can see from what I've handed out, the growth opportunity in this industry is kind of huge. And so as time passes, the relative value of the business for tax base plus the lack of impact of, so when we're fully operational and able to distribute at a high level, it'll be about 10 to 12 jobs here in town. So limited traffic impact, high tax benefit. As I reviewed the acceptable uses, I found a couple that might have applied that you could have shoehorned in, but in working with staff, and Max has been great, I think the best thing was to do a specific amendment, so there weren't any questions. So with that, I'm kind of open the floor and let you guys, well, you guys open the floors. You are in charge, not me, but I'm happy to take questions and go over different items with you just to explain what it is. And for me, again, kind of as a neighbor or local citizen, does this affect, are there any negative effects of this manufacturing? And the answer to that is no. There's no wash, so we don't have to worry about products getting into the water system. Everything, the fabrication machines themselves are fully contained. So if somebody had a concern about a particular, nicotine getting into the waters, who knows? But the system doesn't allow that. There's never any loose nicotine crystals or anything like that. So there also won't be nicotine blowing into the air. The noise level will be minimal. It's an industrial area, so that's less of a concern. But again, anytime you bring a new business in, you want to address what are all the different things you guys might be concerned about with a new or different business, especially if you're adding to your list of uses. And I think this specific use fits all of the criteria that you guys would typically use in approving an addition.
This decrease smoking.
Yes, I mean, so the argument is yes. So this is the typical thing. Zen is the kind of market leader. They seem to have the largest market share, but it does not have any carcinogens. It doesn't have any, but it delivers nicotine. It is FDA regulated. The products that we're using are FDA approved, so it's a compliant product. But the idea is to get, I think, in the countries, Sweden is where it's most prevalent, and they've had a tremendous drop in cigarette usage, really in Europe from using these.
Is this an age-restricted product?
This is an age restricted. It will be, since it's nicotine, it's going to be the same as it would be any other product. And then we will obviously we will not be selling any of them out of this location. So it'll have to go through a distributor and all that.
You have caffeine products, pouches also?
We do, yeah. So that there seems to be a huge demand for that. And I think, again, kind of going back to Mr. Barnes's question, think as people are looking for an alternative to smoking and nicotine, the caffeine pouches are actually very popular, and they'll be the similar flavors and, as the nicotine.
My dad was a smoker and he died of lung cancer.
So, and the carcinogens are pretty, yeah, it has an effect, no question. And to quote there's science to back it up, but there's also science to not back it up. So I would be, it wouldn't be right for me to be like, oh yeah, this thing's great for you, because the honest answer is, I don't know. But I do know that it's yeah, I think it's better. And also, you don't, as someone that used to wait tables at the Mayflower, you don't leave smelling like smoke anymore when you go to restaurants, and that's kind of nice. Get more than one wear out of a sweater.
Where are you manufacturing right now?
This will be the first setup of production. We're very excited about it. We originally were in Sweden, so, when I was initially brought in to consult with these guys, we were looking at, manufacturing in Sweden and importing the US. And after kind of working with them, I was like, why don't we make them in the US? And so that's, and then obviously I'm a big proponent of North Carolina and proponent of Stallings. So, we got them here, and we look at the different economic incentive, programs in the different municipalities. And I think ultimately quality of life here, the educated labor force, and the ability to travel internationally is why we decided to come here.
Is the little tin going to say made in Stallings?
Well, I think
It says made in Sweden.
I'm gonna advocate for a little North Carolina flag product made in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
I don't think it's a good advertisement for our town.
Let's say made in the USA.
Okay.
But that is one of the nice things. It's good to know where your products come from.
Exactly. What is the pouch?
So I will,
So I mean, I know like legally it's age restricted to
Yeah.
like 21 and above now,
Yes.
is that correct?
yes, sir.
But like looking at the flavors are, is it targeting the younger
No, I think
crowd or,
it's just giving
Yeah.
you a different flavor than, Skull Bandit or Red Man or whatever, Copenhagen. So
less
I will
disgusting.
pass one of these
People aren't spitting
around.
it all over the place.
Where do you find these at? Like,
Any gas station. So
so it would be up to the individual store.
It's like,
oh, yeah. Yes,
Cigarettes.
absolutely.
Card.
And a lot of our production early on is gonna be out of the US. So we're gonna make them here, put them on a truck and drive Charleston and send them around the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
So I'm gonna pass this up for you.
no, thanks.
For me.
Smell it.
But it's
Not much smell.
it's pleasant, it's,
Give a little more backstory about it, like, because Zinn was a Swedish product, right? It's been around since the 1700s, and we got two partners that are
It smells good.
Swedish
Good, doesn't
here
it?
and know the product. Very artisanal product, and the product that we're getting here in the United States brought a Swede over, someone who knows their stuff.
if you're into snooze, ours is
If you're
better.
into snooze, yeah, they'd be like, what is this American-made version, right? Got the artisanal part of it. That side of it, with the, all the knowledge coming from Sweden, local engineers, contractors, kind of mixing the best of both worlds, and distributed in Stallings.
So yes, then.
Yeah.
Unless you don't want that one.
Unless you don't want that.
I kind of want to get to his question, kind of what he was alluding to. Have you guys done any kind of impact studies with teens, where this has been an issue in any region of any part of
I mean,
Any more so than others? Have you seen this, you know?
no, I mean, you know, again, with the father of 5 kids, and, I know teenagers, teenagers for years have been smoking or dipping or whatever. It is on the local, seller to, we're not marketing to kids, we're not, that's not a target at all. It's more of a kind of, it's more of the Nicorettes, people that wanna kind of have a healthier option. And again, I understand that that's up for debate. But it's, the goal would not be to, in any way market to that age group. And then from a control, in local impact, that's gonna come down to local, how are the gas stations and places that are selling them? Are they checking IDs? And, we have a top-class police force here. So that's a valid concern, but I think one that's there's a lot of very good filters to keep that from happening. And our dedication not to go that route. And again, it's an FDA-regulated product, so there's massive marketing controls as well.
Say the Zyn average user age is 49 after the older market with more good quality products, and we don't really want to be associated with kids in any way, so make it nice and quality and market it to the older.
How much does one of those,
Tins cost.
cost?
I think that like again, just from looking at gas station signs, I think a Zen is around $3, or to $5. And then there's a, Velo is another brand, and those I think are around $2.50 to, they're constantly on sale. But they average between $2.50 and $5. And that's, and the cost to make, there's a profit in there. But, I think it's a quality, we would argue those are lower quality products. And
Yeah, that's what I
and they'll
was
be
gonna
at
get at.
they'll be at a different, there's a race to the bottom to provide the least amount of lower quality stuff. We'll use organic products. So it's a nicer product than what's currently on the market.
Last longer. That also goes into consumer. Faster, where these take you is an addiction from that chemical that does not cause cancer as so far as we know. Raw leaf tobacco crop.
Again, kind of if I'm sitting on your side, none of that'll be made here. And so there won't be any nicotine, there won't be any nicotine in the air or, everything's kind of boxed in the production line. We will be, equipment's being shipped in from overseas that make these, and we'll be up and, assuming this goes well, tonight we'll be up and running in a few months. And
So how long has this company been,
we're a year old, so we're a startup. So we're capitalized, so when you say startup, that, you know, you picture guys in a garage making a computer. But we are very well capitalized, we're just new to the market. And they were in Sweden for a little while, but.
Yeah, that's what I was,
Yeah,
like, how
so-
long were they in Sweden?
So, a couple years, and then the US is obviously the best, yeah. The US is a prime market for any consumer product.
Oh, it doesn't say made in Stallings. That's,
Where's the material been sourced from, like the?
It's all US sourcing, so it'll be medical, yeah, it's medical grade gauze. We're buying the nicotine from one of the few FDA-approved labs that formulate that have the organic nicotine. So it's all US based. And have an unrelated client, the legislature is working on closing the loophole on the Delta 8 stuff. Just FYI. Coming to a short session near you in Raleigh.
any other questions? Do I have a motion? Hey, you know,
I'll make a motion to amend Article 8 to allow the use of the nicotine delivery production as listed in the industrial zoning.
you have a second.
Second?
All in favor? All opposed? It passes. Can we have the,
Statement.
Statement of consistency and reasonableness.
consistency?
You know, I'll say it if you want to. The planning board, I wrote it out, I went home, I was like, recommends that the proposed text amendment is consistent and reasonable with the, comprehensive land use plan for the reasons that it, attracts new jobs and that the comprehensive land use plan, expresses a desire for more light manufacturing, and this covers that.
I'll second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you all. Good seeing someone.
Good to see you, John.
How's Jenny doing?
She's doing good. She's a sophomore at UNC
Chapel
Chapel
Hill,
Hill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But, oh, here's Lily Kate was
Lily Kate is a
Jimmy's
freshman at
right?
Wofford.
At Wofford, okay.
And I think she'd like to transfer to Chapel Hill, so she's got her application.
Okay, that's it.
Wofford's good. I couldn't get her to go to Wingate like us.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well,
I tried.
my nephew just graduated from Wofford. And
Okay, do you like it?
yeah, yeah, he loved it. He's in the Army now. He's a Chinook pilot.
Okay, oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, you guys, you can keep that, yeah. Awesome, thank you, guys.
Good to see you, John.
Good night. That guy's from Sweden. That other guy's from Sweden.
I've got two basketball games from
You could tell, just the way he's dressed. Okay, Item 4 on the agenda is rules and procedures changes by Max.
Yeah, so, thank you. Ryan, I wanted to call you out thank you for,
Yeah, that was
providing
great.
comments, so I really appreciate it.
Much on that.
No.
Now, so I definitely incorporate some of the comments for the changes that I'm proposing. Essentially, I want to create consistency in organization, so I'm removing all the establishing documents and things. Those are archived. We can't change those anyways. So I'm just going to focus just on rules of procedure. So I want to create a document that only shows the rules of procedure. So rules of procedure for planning board and board of adjustments. So after tonight, if we amend anything, I'll bring it back to board of adjustments next time we have a meeting, just so we can adopt it again. So that's what the first bullet says. We're just streamlining the document. These other ordinances, we can't amend anyway, so we'll just have it in archives. Correcting a typo, for sure, I want to correct section 8.3, page 11, by removing the exclamation point. I don't know why that was there, but we'll remove it.
Yeah.
I was just excited when I was, amending it last year. And then for the updated public notice procedures, the requirement for a physical meeting agenda posting when the town hall, I want to remove that. And I wanted to show you the specific highlighted section that I want to remove. Public notice of all regular meetings shall be made by posting a planning board agenda in a conspicuous location accessible to the general public within the Stallings Town Hall at least 7 days prior to the meeting. The notice shall remain posted until the meeting has been concluded. I want to remove that section. The reasoning is it kind of requires us to send the agenda out 7 days prior. For example, council gets their meeting agenda on Friday and they have the meeting on Monday. You guys receive it on Tuesday and we have our meeting the, whole 7 days later. So it's a lot longer of a notification period. Second, we already notice them online. As you can tell, we send out meeting agenda links, and we still plan on sending it out at a reasonable time. I don't plan on sending it to you like Friday at 5 p.m., but sometimes Tuesdays do get kind of hectic, and I wanted the additional flexibility for staff to be able to at least send it maybe Wednesday. And this does not allow us to do so.
Are you gonna add at least like a 48 hours prior to kind of thing, or is it just?
We did not plan on that because council doesn't have that.
Oh, okay.
But if you guys really want that, we can.
Yeah, my concern is that we're the first stop for development. And, people who may have a stake or in that plan might need some extra time to see the
Yeah, of
agenda.
course.
I mean, if that makes sense.
So if you guys want to, I can write a certain time period where you would get notified of the agenda. We just don't want have to be required to post a physical copy outside 7 days prior.
So this doesn't affect our copy of it. This is just.
Correct. And there's no state statute on a requirement of when you are notified for the agenda. But it just seems excessive a whole week this is just staff's perspective that, like council gets their agenda on Friday and then has the meeting the next, following Monday, so they only have 4 days notice or 3, and then you have 7 days. So I'm just trying to be a little bit slightly more consistent because there's nothing in the town council's rules of procedure that
Yeah, I don't think there's any
says that.
reason it needs to be 7 days. Public notice, like.
So, but if you guys want to make it 48 hours, I think that would be helpful. But just say 48 hours online, the agenda.
Yeah, no need to do the
Yeah, I don't think it
physical
needs to be
posting.
physical at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hours just online.
okay. So that means
End of day Friday.
yeah, that would we would send it out before that, but what I'll do, we'll amend it. If you want to vote, you'll vote on it. At the end of this, after I present, vote to change Article 5.5, removing the physical public notice and have it posted online 48 hours in advance. So when you vote, just say that, someone, and I can help as well. But I will, actually, that's the last bullet. So, any questions?
So when we get everything, it's going to stay the same as.
It'll likely stay the same. I would say we may send it out Wednesday, the agenda, instead of
For the following Tuesday.
for the following Tuesday, but
That's fine.
it just kind of gives us some more flexibility than scrambling on Tuesday afternoon when me and Stuart have meetings all day, and then, I'm just giving an example, and then it's 4 o'clock, and we're oh, we have to put together their agenda and meet the rules of procedure, and then that's when, typos and things happen, which we want to prevent.
Do I have any more questions? Motion?
See it so we know how to say it again?
Yeah, I can actually say that, and you can say, I agree,
Okay.
I want to make a motion.
Okay.
So, we're requesting to streamline the table of contents and just show the rules of procedure for planning board and board of adjustments, not the establishing documents. Those are archived. Additionally, want to fix the typo in section 8.8-3. For the exclamation point, just remove that and put a period. And then update the public notice procedure to remove the physical notice, and then write a section that says that we will put a planning board agenda online 48 hours prior to the meeting.
Got that, Mary?
Yes, I make a motion to approve exactly as Max stated.
I'll second that.
All in favor? All opposed? Nope, okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Yeah, I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right.